Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you are watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, for the past time, since the Kenya Kwanza came to administration, we have seen how the legislatures elected on UDA or that coalition have been operating. When it comes to passing of bills in the National Assembly, in the Senate, especially bills sponsored by this regime. For them, they don't have time to debate, scrutinize those bills. In fact, they are quick to wait and hear the speaker putting up the question. So their thing is all about aye or nay. Simple. They don't have time to debate. They just want to vote. So you will hear them telling the speaker, put up the question, put up the question. No time to debate. With all this, you find some laws being passed that are against our constitution that are being challenged in the court. In their thinking, they might be thinking that when they make laws, maybe it is to punish the opposition or to support the government, forgetting that when they are making these laws, they pass bills. These bills are meant to govern Kenya. These bills are meant for both Kenyans and the foreigners who are resident in this country. Wale wanakaa. They forget that. But now, the parliament has resumed their sittings now, and we are seeing now some of the UDA legislatures refusing to allow their party leader to think for them when they are debating on serious matters. And Khalwale came out so openly to criticize the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah and give his reasons why at point he will oppose government-sponsored bills as long as they are not in line with our laws and the constitution, as long as they are not serving the interest of Kenyans. Amesema yeye kazi yake si mambo ya kupiga kura ya yes or no. Nothing like aye or nay. He has to scrutinize everything, and if he has to make a decision of voting, then he vote on a position of knowledge, being well aware, being well informed, understanding, the impact of such bills that are going to be passed. That is Khalwale.
When I went to State House, when the president was signing these laws into, these bills into law, I met the leader of the majority, Honorable Ichung'wah. And he told me, I saw you speaking in Turkana, and I was asking myself, is that the chief whip of the government, or is he the chief whip of the opposition? So I looked at the young legislator, and I knew with time he will understand that there are no laws for the opposition. There are no laws for the party in government. I therefore urge colleagues, please, so that again you don't find yourselves with the egg on the face, don't pass this bill in the current format, because it's going to be challenged in court and it is going to, we will lose. That's it. It is written in English and we all understand. The second confession I want to make is that Honorable Mugeni, we have come a very long way with him. And we have agreed on everything. The first time I came in contact with him was when many years ago, over 20 years ago, he was the chairman of the Law Society of Kenya. And at that time as a speaker, Mugeni presided over a function where LSK was awarding me accolades for the work that I was doing in this assembly. That standard has remained. That standard will continue. The only time we disagreed with Senator Mugeni was yesterday when he shocked me that we can use Article 247 to create a parallel police force for Parliament. Up to now, I don't understand. I'm still looking for him when he's free. He'll educate me. Having said that, Why do I oppose this bill? It is in English. Look at 119, the creation of the tribunal. Where does the county government or county governments come in? It's not there. It's nowhere. They are creating a tribunal in this law where county governments not only fail to be mentioned, but even by implication, you don't see how the prime movers of water which is fully devolved will participate in this very critical tribunal. There is room for us to change this. If you change this, it doesn't mean you are unpatriotic. It doesn't mean you are against the government. It means you are doing good legislation. That's what it means. Upon moving this motion, if you go, we are told that one reason why we are amending the Water Act is because the powers and functions of the Water Storage Authority are facing proposed amendment. The principle of lawmaking is that you change a law because you want to cure something. So when we want to amend the powers and functions of the Water Storage Authority, what is it that we are curing? Unless it is mischief. Further, Section 69, which is proposed for amendment, it is for handover of completed works. What is there in the current law that makes it difficult for county governments to receive completed works that is forcing us to amend Section 69? There is nothing. Mr. Speaker, Section 72, which is proposed for amendment, is you want to amend the powers and functions of the regulatory board.
Now we are continuing this panel discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, if you listen to Bwana Khalwale criticizing Kimani Ichung'wah is the majority leader of the National Assembly. So in his thinking, he believed that his work is to support anything that the government will bring, forgetting that he is there to make laws and the bills that are going to affect even his own people that he is representing. Therefore, even if the government will bring their own laws, bills in the National Assembly, he has to allow the floor to debate on those bills, point out where there need to be corrections, so that that bill is in the spirit of serving Kenyans, not specific greedy individuals' interest. Hiyo Kimani Ichung'wah hajui. Na hivyo ndio mlipoona 2023 finance bill being passed without thinking about Kenyans. They just passed it because that's what the UDA administration wanted. But now we are all affected. Sijaona ikiaffect watu wa opposition na iache watu wa serikali. Sijaona mahali penye watu wa serikali wananunua sukari kilo moja shilingi 100 na watu wa opposition wanunua sukari shilingi 200. It's everyone. So, by the fact that Khalwale decided to criticize Kimani Ichung'wah on the floor of the Senate, it tells you that it has reached a time when they will start calling a spade, but not a big spoon. There is also division here in UDA party. That's why he comes out openly, to share out his views and disgruntlement with Kimani Ichung'wah's position. Because what he's sharing here is part of classified information. Issue ya kila mtu. Lakini amekuja kusema kwa sababu hao wote wako kwa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Khalwale is the majority whip in the Senate. So he has to whip members not to make a decision or vote on their in their own capacity on some bills, depending on their thinking, but to vote in party position. So the party has a position. But for it to become party position, they should have debated or when they have these parliamentary group meetings, they have to look at those things. Are they in the interest of the people? Above all, are they within our laws? Or it is something that can be challenged in the court? Hawaangalii hizo tu, bora Mheshimiwa Ruto anataka hii ipite, inapitishwa. Mheshimiwa Ruto amesema hii iende, inapita. No. Even as you vote in party position, it should be in line with the law and above all, serving the interest of supporters of the party, because every party has a following, it has a support. Above all, hatuna watu wa serikali na watu wa opposition. So Kimani Khalwale was teaching Kimani Ichung'wah. Mambo ya kuamka tuna kupiga kura sababu wamesema haiko. No laws for the government and no laws for opposition. Laws are for everyone. And this is where the problem comes in. You find that these legislators have come out to pass some bills, then they are challenged in court. Now, once they are challenged in court, now it becomes a subject of discussion, intimidation, threat in UDA to the judiciary, that hawa watu wanaangusha kesi zetu, kila kitu tukipitisha wanaangusha. Now they become enemies of the court. Why? Because they never considered if these bills can be challenged. Their issue was all about put up the question. So their thing is all about voting on the question. Hawakuangalia, is what we are passing within the law or it is outside our laws? Is it within or in line with our constitution? So that it cannot be challenged in court, or even if an attempt can be made, we can't lose the case. So Khalwale is revealing to us how William Ruto and his administration have been losing major cases in the court, because their own legislators do not debate on this matter. They don't vote with their brain. They are being just whipped. They are being forced, yani mnaambiwa tu na nyinyi ni hapo hivyo. So it is time now, he's saying no. And Bwana Khalwale, as the majority whip, he might be planting a sense of direction among legislators who are under UDA and even those who are in Azimio's side but think of supporting this government. That let us do our things, understanding that we are working for Kenyans, not for an individual. So as a majority whip, he's speaking like this. That means he's whipping the people to use their own brain, but not just to sit there and wait, mambo ya put up the question. No. So Khalwale stood openly, courageously to oppose a bill sponsored by the regime. Mambo ya sijui water nini and the county governments there, those issues. He openly opposed on the floor of the house. Remember, it's the same person who need to whip everyone to vote in the direction of the party. I think if we have such brain in our parliament, it is good. And above all, Khalwale being a senior, I see him planting wisdom in the youthful legislators in these both houses, so that they can also have freedom of thinking, freedom of decision making, so that they will be really serving the interest of Kenyans, but not the party leaders' interest. Don't know your views? But let us meet in the comment section to continue with this discussion.